Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Maria. Today, I'm going to talk about the attraction of animals. So, I'd like to begin with a quick question. Have you ever wondered what animals think and feel? Well, it's easy to see that our cats or dogs really love us. But what's going on in their fuzzy little heads? I think we can communicate with animals, because I always communicate with my lovely cats. So, what is communication? We learned last year, communication is a two-way exchange of information. First, verbal communication. It is the sharing of information between individuals by using words or speech, like I'm doing now. On the other hand, there is nonverbal communication, which is communicate without using any spoken or written word. Nonverbal communication includes gesture, facial expression, tone and volume of voice, and so on. Basically, communication means understanding each other. This means sharing emotions such as happiness, sadness, and anger. Without it, communication is pointless. Imagine trying to communicate emotionlessly without gesture. It would feel strange, wouldn't it? So, how about you? Please raise your hand if you think we can communicate with animals. Please raise your hand if you think we can communicate with animals. Thank you so much. In my questionnaire last year, I asked 100 people about this topic. So let's take a good look at the chart. This pie chart shows how many people in my questionnaire used have a pet or have a pet now. As you can see, most people had a pet or have a pet now. Okay, now let's go on to the next chart. This shows resulting answer to the question, do you think we can communicate with animals? It's the same question as asked earlier. 70% answered, yes, we can. I was really surprised because I guess people who do not have a pet don't think we can communicate with animals. So I asked the same people, why do you think so? And people said, animals can't speak, but we do communicate, but we do emotions. And people said, animals can be feeling by behavior or facial expression. Certainly, I always see facial expression and sounds like crying when I talk to my cats. For example, when they are hungry and want some delicious food, in that situation, they stare at me until I give them food. Also, when I say, I love you, they react by blinking slowly. This is a kind of expression of affection. And cats and dogs have excellent hearing. As a result, they can different person's footsteps. So when I come home, my cats are always waiting at the door because they can hear me coming. Let me show you. This movie proves my point. Isn't it cute? Similarly, there are animals that can communicate besides cats and dogs. A good example are guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are funny creatures. You can really tell what they're thinking, despite their small stature. Check out this video. See? Guinea pigs make a variety of sounds or vocalization, some of which most owners will recognize. And guinea pigs can also communicate using body language. So they're as interactive and friendly as dogs and cats. Harold Hazak, a famous scholar of behavior at Western Carolina University, said, the act of talking to the pet is extremely natural because humans naturally have personification. Personification means making something non-human appear to be more human by giving it human characteristic, like the ability to talk or feel emotions. Please look at these examples. 1. the moon smiles at the stars in the sky. 2. The clock screams in my ear. Here, the moon smile and the clock screams are a good example of personification. We do the same thing when we describe our pets. Moreover, Professor Herzog said, when we talk to our pets, they react. I experienced the same thing with my cat. When I ask my cat, do you want to go outside? He gets close to me and said, meow. I don't think he understands in exactly the same way we do, but we do communicate. As described, Professor Herzog is convinced that the act of talking to the pet is not one-way conversation. There are also an interesting study from 2016 about a dog who got an MRI. The study reported that the dog's brain processed the word with left hemisphere as a human repeating word with right hemisphere. Through the research, we cannot say animals understand language completely, but at least we can say animals recognize words. But it doesn't work with all animals though. Dr. Herzog used to have a snake, but it's difficult to talk to it. My teacher also said the same thing. He said he couldn't have a conversation with God. Judging from this fact, humans unconsciously read something human into animals, such as cute eyes and childish behavior. The problem is not whether animals have a mind or not. The point is humans assume that animals have their own mind. That's why we can communicate with animals. To my next point, have any of you here ever heard of the name animal communicator? It's an example of someone who can talk with animals using their subconscious. This means the part of your mind that can influence you or affect your behavior, even though you're not aware of it. I'm sure some of you have seen the famous TV program, 志村動物園, haven't you? Heidi Wright, who has appeared on it, is a well-known animal communicator. Slowly but surely, people are beginning to believe that it's possible to talk with animals. So next, I describe the positive effects on humans when we're living with animals. So first, I'll outline the physiological effect. The positive effects include reducing blood pressure and cholesterol levels. More specifically, the act of just petting cats and dogs can reduce blood pressure. Regarding cats, I found some interesting study by the magazine Scientific American for you. You know, cats' paws can produce vibration of 20 to 140 Hz. This frequency has various medical effects of not only reducing blood pressure, which I already mentioned, but also relieving stress. Indeed, once you touch cat's paw, you will never be able to stop like me. Besides this, it is said that if you live with animals, you can become immune to disease. According to study is conducted by the University of Minnesota in 2008, which include 4,500 people. And cat owners have a lower probability of dying from heart attack than people who don't have a cat. It's amazing, right? Now, I'm gonna talk about the psychological effect. Have you ever heard animal therapy? By using this therapy, people can relax, and it can also help with mental illness and stress. According to a study by Loma Linda University in California, just watching some funny cats movie for 20 minutes on YouTube, the level of stress hormone, cortisol, in participants is decreased. Moreover, when you pat cats on the body, they speak in a soft voice, goro goro, and express contentment. This goro therapy is known to be very effective and is used as received therapy in France. Isn't it awesome? Every time I pat my cat on the head, I always get great peace of mind. Lastly, the social effect. You might not believe it, but if you have a pet, you can meet new people or get a chance to start a conversation with other people. According to a study by According to, sorry. According to studies, some research done in France in 2012, 40 autistic children interacting with cats were found to be more calm and relaxed. As a result, their ability to communicate is improved. In addition, the JAHA, the Japanese Animal Hospital Association, found that the percentage of people working with dogs who were spoken to by strangers is consistently 80%. The percentage of people who say animals having animals as while in your circle or friend is 60–80%, according to a questionnaire of 1,705 people. As you can see, this graph shows the positive effect animals on people. I never knew that animals could affect us. Don't you agree? So I started my presentation today with a question: can we communicate with animals? I'm sure you can begin to agree that humans and animals reach an understanding. Animals are not only just relationship between pets and owners, but also we are friends. As I have explained, animals are not only cute, but also important to our lives because they can bring us happiness. Finally, I hope someday everyone here will become friends with animals. Thank you so much.